the way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hip-hop grade.
Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days.
And you knew who you were then.
Girls were girls and men were men.
Mister,
We could use a man like Ezra Benson again. Didn't need no welfare states.
everybody pulled his weight. Gee, our
Chevrolet
Chevrolet ran great.
Those were the days.
Let's take a boat to Bermuda. Let's take a plane to St. Paul. Let's take a kayak to Quincy or Nyack. Let's get away from it all. Let's take a trip in a trailer. No need to come back at all. Let's take a powder to Boston for chowder. Let's get away from it all. No place like home, sweet home. It's a charming thought and pure. But until the world we roam, how can we be sure? Off to Niagara, next time we're digging the falls. Yes, we're leaving. We're hitting the road. Oh, we're leaving. We're hitting the road. Yes, we're leaving. We're hitting the road, oh, we're getting away from it all.
When I first met Sannette, I was living in Provo, attending BYU, and I was living with Ray, her brother.
I was in Provo visiting my brothers for 2 or 3 days, and they wanted to show me a good time.
She came busting into the apartment, all enthusiasm, and I use that word with some delicacy because she was rather well formed, and so busting in was rather descriptive.
Because I had on a white blouse that I'd made, had a eyelet ruffle around here on my shoulders, and I'd made sure I had nice wide straps to cover my bra, and it was a purple skirt. And he remembers that outfit. And of course I wore my hair long and fluffy.
And my eyes must have followed her for several moments.
He was wearing a red corduroy hat. And he was blonde, ruddy complexion. I didn't see his hair because his hat on, but I could see the face, and it was hot summer. And my impression was, it wasn't that tall, dark, and handsome guy that was going to be my dreamboat.
So I was captivated right away.
It wasn't love at first sight, no.
Whoa, whoa. You know, I'm almost grown. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, and I'm doing all right in school. They ain't said I broke no rules. I ain't never been in Dutch. I don't browse around too much. Don't bother me, leave me alone. Anyway, I'm almost grown. I don't run around with no mob. Got myself a little job. I'm gonna buy me a little car. Drive my girl in the park. Don't bother, leave us alone. Anyway, we almost grown. You know I'm still living in town, but I done married and settled down. Now I really have a ball, 'cause I don't browse around at all. Don't bother, leave us alone. Anyway,
I met him August 17th in 1949, and then I went home to Idaho Falls, and then I came back to school in September. Oh, I gotta tell you, when I first went into the apartment, there were pictures of girls all over his dresser top. Who are these girls? Oh, those are Claire's girlfriends. And I thought, well, there were girls, and they were beautiful girls.
Sannette and her roommate were full of schemes to spend time over at the apartment.
We concocted a birthday party. It wasn't really her birthday, but we had a birthday party for her. Oh, and we had it over in Ray's apartment.
We found out shortly that the birthday didn't exist, but the party did.
I'd find all kinds of excuses to just go down there and do my laundry or practice their piano or fix supper or whatever.
When I looked for a girl, somehow the piano was always in the back of my mind as one of the requirements.
I'll just go over to Ray's apartment and practice on his piano. It sounds better than the one over here in this practice room.
As she was practicing in the apartment, I came up behind her and I put my hand on her shoulder.
And I just melted. Just absolutely like soft butter.
As I was walking down the street one day, a man came up to me and asked me what the time was that was on my watch. Yeah, I said, does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care? If so, I can't imagine why. Oh, got time enough to die. Everybody's worried. I don't care about time. I don't care.
Oh, the time came when I was less interested in other girls.
Claire took me up hiking up Rock Canyon.
And it was a inspiring sight, but not quite as inspiring as the girl that I was with.
But that's when I first got whiskered. I didn't know what that was before. I never got kissed, but I got awful close to his face.
We were rather close together, but the kiss never came off.
He told me how he danced in the Navy and how he got little prizes for dancing. And I begged him to teach me how to dance. And he says, well, you're just a little heavy. If you lose 15 pounds, then I can pick you up and throw you around. Oh, I struggled to lose those 15 pounds.
We'd been out on a date. I took her home, and it was time to be in.
And I had a lot of fun. We used to jitterbug, and that was fun. You didn't have me tell about the first kiss.
We're getting there.
And hey, my heart was beating with a little extra speed.
There'd been a fresh snow, and so the junipers or whatever they were just lightly covered with snow along the walk. And he stopped me.
Gave her a smack right on the right on the lips. What a kiss.
And then scooped up a handful of snow and threw it in my face, turned me around and gave me a shove. And I went stumbling to the door, into the dorm, and up the steps to the second floor to my room. And I just felt like I was on cloud nine.
I had said to her on one occasion, learn to play Malagueña for me. If you'll learn to play Malagueña, why then I'll ask you to marry me.
But I bought the music for Malagueña, and I practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. And I practiced on that 6 months.
On a Sunday, she came over to our apartment and she took me by the hand across the street to that church in the afternoon.
Had to have a grand piano to play it on, because you can't just play Malagueña on an upright.
And she walked up to the piano and ripped off a rendition of Malagueña.
I had to learn that before he would marry me.
This was becoming much more than casual dating.
He came to my house at Christmas time and visited my parents, and we went ice skating up the Snake River. Then at part of the time when he was at the home with my parents, he went in my father's office, had a private talk with my father, and I was just on pins and needles out in the kitchen wondering what he was saying to my father. Then in January, he still hadn't proposed. And after he'd had that talk with my father, I was thinking that he should.
It was on Sunday, and we attended church.
We were naughty. We whispered and wrote notes.
So I wrote down to her, in my IP book, I said, how would you like me to take you to the celestial kingdom?
And I wanted something more specific. You mean, is this a proposal for marriage? I was wondering, I wanted to know. Well, Sunday school ended and we hadn't quite finished.
We drove over in front of my apartment. I remember parking there, and I said, well, is the answer yes or no?
Because I kept wanting to have it black and white. Nothing just hinted. I want it bold. He finally said, will you marry me? I couldn't just say yes because I had to figure out a clever way to answer. So I picked up his IP book and wrote,
The answer is in the affirmative.
and finally we were married in the Idaho Falls Temple, 21st of June, 1950.
Sweetheart, my wonderful Sannette, the years have brought riches to my life. You are the sweetheart of my dreams. You have fulfilled every wish that I possibly could want. My beautiful children, the precious hours that we have spent together, the love we've expressed. Sweetheart, I love you with all my heart.
Sweetheart, it's been 50 years, and I've never grown tired of you. I just love you more and more and more. I love you.